Hi, I'm Grace from AHDB's Retail and Consumer Insight team. In this video, we'll be looking at the factors currently influencing demand for pork and why it might be struggling more than other proteins. To start, an overview of the category. Pork is in a very strong position. It's a versatile product, including many cuts that appeal to different shoppers, such as chops, sausages, bacon, and pork pies. It's the second largest category within meat, fish and poultry, behind only chicken, in terms of both value and volume. The average person spends over £190 on pork and pork products per year, and 9 out of every 10 shoppers bought pork in the last 12 weeks. And they didn't just buy it once. On average, shoppers buy pork once a week. The majority of sales come through retail. However, there are some barriers to purchase. Pork is seen as less easy to cook than beef and chicken, and less tasty than beef and lamb. However, pork is liked by the whole family, and it is the most requested for at dinner time. In the last 12 weeks, we've seen spend on pig meat in retail grow by 2.3%. However, we haven't seen this growth in volumes, which declined by 2.1%, the biggest decline seen across MFP categories. And this isn't just in the last 12 weeks that we've seen this decline in volumes. Pork has been in constant slow decline over the last 18 months. This decline in volume is driven by shoppers buying less per shopping trip, which has declined 1.6%. There were also declines for how often shoppers buy pork and how many households purchased. You might think that because pork is one of the cheaper proteins in the supermarket, it would be performing well in the cost of living crisis. However, when we look at the price changes, we've seen the retail prices rise significantly for pork, more so than we have seen across many other proteins. This can be seen when looking at the price difference between primary pork and primary chicken. In 2022, the difference was only 51 pence per kilo, but primary pork retail prices have grown faster, with a peak gap in 2023 of £1.34 per kilo compared to chicken. When looking at two popular cuts within the proteins, which consumers could use interchangeably in some recipes, pork steaks used to be significantly cheaper than chicken breasts, but now there is little difference in the average price. And we see this playing out within the switching data, with a large proportion of previous pork volume sales moving into chicken. Over 60% of pork losses were from shoppers moving to other proteins, with a third of losses from shoppers cutting back on how much pork they purchased, but not replacing it with another protein. However, we didn't see anyone drop out of meat entirely. The biggest volume losses seen were from shoppers aged over 65 and from those youngest shoppers. These two groups are potentially the hardest hit by the cost of living crisis, and also those who don't have those requests for sausages from the kids. While many in the industry may be waiting for the barbecue demand spike to kick in, we don't usually see this in the data from a total pork level. We do see a spike in sausage sales, which is usually in May, so we've already seen this for 2024. One area of growth for pork was in food service, which has seen volume growth over the last 12 weeks. Savoury pastries, breakfasts and sandwiches are driving the growth. However, when we look at the balance, losses in retail were too great, so overall pork demand was down 1.5%. And we predict that this trend will likely continue for the rest of the year. In our agri-market outlook published in January, we predicted a 2% decline in total pork volumes for 2024, and this prediction is still accurate. While we do see wages rising and the return to work boosting food service sales of ham sandwiches, the rising retail price of pork and the stagnant economy are still influencing an overall decline. At AHDB, we're looking to boost consumer demand for pork through our Love Pork campaign. If you wish to hear more about the retail and food service market, or how AHDB use insight within their marketing campaigns, you can join us for a webinar on Thursday the 27th of June. If you have any questions, please do drop us an email, and thank you for listening.